All stations on Dragon, 1 minute until configure for terminal count.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Falcon 9, go for propellant loading.
Dragon is in countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
You are looking at a live view of SpaceX's first Crew Dragon spacecraft atop a Falcon 9 rocket, awaiting liftoff in just under an hour from now as part of the first crew demonstration mission to the International Space Station for NASA. As many of you probably already know, the purpose of today's mission is to demonstrate the ability of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket and the Crew Dragon vehicle to carry people safely to and from the International Space Station. Today's mission is a test flight. While there are no actual humans on board, we're going to be executing every step of this mission as if there were.
The Dragon we fly for our CRS missions has already made 16 visits to the International Space Station, but this is the first time that Crew Dragon is making that journey.
Just behind us, you can see the Falcon 9 and Dragon prepared to launch from this historic launch pad. SpaceX took over Launch Complex 39A in 2014, and after retrofitting it, they have been able to support both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launches regularly since 2017.
Yeah, actually, there's a great shot on your screen of our two-stage launch vehicle, the Falcon 9. And actually, the crew arm is attached to it. Oh, actually, there, the crew arm is separating away from the vehicle. And this test is, we're running this test the same way that we would with astronauts on board. So that would be one of the steps as we prepare to go into today's launch. Now, Falcon 9 is Falcon 9's first stage will fire its 9 Merlin engines to propel the vehicle to the edge of space. Once it's burned through most of its propellant, it will separate and attempt to land on our drone ship, which is about 316 miles off the Florida coast. Simultaneously, the second stage will fire its single high-efficiency Merlin vacuum engine to propel Dragon to its target orbit about 200 kilometers above the Earth. From there, Dragon will continue with its first journey to the International Space Station.
You can actually see her sitting there in the live views we have from Dragon, getting ready for launch. Ripley will be gathering some very important data for us in advance of our first crew missions, and she's also taking up a zero-gravity indicator in the shape of the Earth, which you can see the blue Earth figure right next to her in the seat closest to the camera.
So that covers what to expect on this mission without crew, but it is important to remember that this entire operation is also a training opportunity.
Really, over the past week, they've been reviewing a lot of procedures for the docking operations and the ingress operations. That's when they actually enter the vehicle. Today, they don't really have much going on, a bit of an off-duty day, because tomorrow, that's when they execute all of these procedures, just over a day from now when Dragon docks to the International Space Station scheduled at 6 a.m. Eastern Time.
And starback retract is starting.
RP1 bleed.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1, pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Ignition, liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
throttle bucket.
Power and telemetry nominal.
For those of you just joining us, you are watching a live view of the Falcon 9 rocket as it ascends through the atmosphere carrying the SpaceX Dragon 2 capsule to
Vehicle
orbit.
is supersonic.
The vehicle just passed through max Q, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. As you can hear in the background, the excitement at SpaceX headquarters is unbelievable here.
Stage 1 throttle
Vehicle
up.
is passing through max Q.
You heard that call out from max Q on the nets. The Falcon 9 actually throttles down its 9 Merlin engines to reduce aerodynamic loads on the vehicle. It is now throttling those engines back up. Coming up at T plus 2 minutes and 35 seconds is going to be three events in quick succession. The first one is going to be the main engine cutoff, or MECO. That's when the 9 Merlin 1D engines that you can see on your screen right now will cut off shortly before a stage separation at 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So stand by for main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start coming up in just about 20 seconds from now. As you can hear from the cheering here at SpaceX headquarters, we did have a successful main engine cutoff, a stage separation, and as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, that second stage engine is currently started and accelerating Dragon towards orbit. On the left-hand side of your screen, that is a view from the first stage as it makes its way back down towards the Earth. Let's go down to Lauren and Dan for updates on that first stage recovery.
That's right, and while all that's happening, the second stage, which you can see glowing bright here, continuing to power Dragon, it's going to continue burning until just about 9 minutes after launch. So at 8 minutes and 59 seconds is where it's targeted to cut off.
Okay, we're hearing that MVAC is performing nominally. It's looking good on power. Temperatures are good. And stage 1 continues to come back nominally, and look over there on the left on your screen. You see that picture of Ripley in that 0G indicator. Still have about 2.5 more minutes left of this burn, at which point MVAC will shut down. We're just under a minute away from that entry burn on stage 1 that I mentioned before.
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
Stage 1 entry burn has started.
Look at that plane. So 3 M1D engines reigniting. Burn is going to continue on for about another 18 or so seconds. MVAC's throttling now for SECO.
Stage 1 is transonic.
And we have had a successful shutdown of MVAC. All right. Stage 1 landing burn is supposed to start. At the start of that burn, stage 1 will be traveling at 275 meters per second. That single engine burn is going to bring that from 275 to 0.
We did just hear that stage 1 landing burn has started.
All right, let's see if we get it. 500 kilometers away from where it launched from. The vehicle will now undergo its safing procedures, and the recovery team will make sure it's strapped down and it'll make its way back to Earth. Or, sorry, back to Cape Canaveral. It's already on it.
Separation should be occurring around 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Just about now. Let's wait for confirmation.
Dragon, separation confirmed.
And there it is. You're looking at a view from the top of the second stage of the Falcon 9 rocket. And hard to make out in the shadow of the Earth, but that is the Dragon 2 spacecraft flying in space for the first time after a successful separation.